I guess so. And Reggie Hunt defended on that last play. He led the spring game last year in rushing. There's another versatile player you have. To keep him on the defensive side of the ball?
We're going to put Reggie on defense, and that's where he's going to stay. And I think, not to sound like we have the right answers or anything, but we need to let Reggie go play in a position and get better right there. And I think he's bounced back and forth. And when you have a good athlete like that, it's a hard choice sometimes as to where you play him. But we're going to play him at safety and leave him there. We've got LT and Basil back there in the backfield and Charlie, so I think he's comfortable with that too.
35.
Give to the fullback there, Lance Williams, and they had it pretty well bottled up their play side, and it looked like somebody from the backside came in and made the tackle there. Probably Ray Lacey.
Williams is another one of those fullbacks that you'll have to figure out what to do with come the fall.
Well,
is there a chance you might redshirt any of those guys?
It's possible. When you have four of them, George and Nick Boulash have already redshirted, so we won't be redshirting them. But it is possible that there could be somebody in the mix that we could do that with.
And we mentioned your size in the offensive line. Are you happy with the size and the depth in the defensive line?
I really am. That's one of the big positives of the spring. There's a nice throw and catch by Kevin Colin and Tavares Moore. Tavares had to adjust that route, and good communication between him and Kevin. But I'm real pleased. One of the things I feel good about is we have some depth, and we have some guys that we could play in the defensive line. And I think that's great in this conference. As much as people throw the football, that was a great throw and catch right there.
Boy, that sure was.
But as much as people throw the football, if you can keep fresh D linemen in the game in the fourth quarter, you could put some pressure on a quarterback when the game's on the line.
Because the whack, as you mentioned, the ball goes all over the place.
You know, the motto of the whack, I always say, is hang loose, somebody's fixing to score.
But that's not too far from the truth.
No, they can put points up quick in this league.
That's one of the things that makes this such an interesting league, though. I mean, this is a very exciting league.
It is an exciting league. There was a fake to the tailback, and they tried to run the fullback down the middle there, which is
and he was open.
He was open. That may qualify as one of the trick plays for the spring right there. We've had that in our offense many times. Kevin just overthrew it a little bit that time. Good fake by the tailback there. And Kevin had good protection. He maybe could have taken just a touch more time.
Yes.
It happens sometimes. And TCU's their school, and we want them to be proud of it.
Right.
Their involvement is needed.
Lou Porch carried the ball that time. And Aaron Schobel, another one of the leading returning tacklers from last year.
Aaron's had a nice spring.
Had 5 tackles, I read, in that first spring game.
He has outstanding instincts. He does things that overcome our coaching sometimes, which is good. We need players like that. But he can make some reads very well because of his instincts to play the game.
Dover still a quarterback here for the purple team.
That was very close to being of a huge play right there. Nice run by Ladanian and keeping his balance. Reggie Hunt got him on the ground there, but nice job by the offensive line.
We got to remember he's running on a bad ankle.
He is running on a bad ankle. That's exactly right.
If he's healthy, he breaks that thing.
Yeah, he's very close. Good job by the offensive line there. I'm feeling pretty good about the way the line has performed so far today, though we're not getting a lot of blitzing today and things. But at least this is good. They're showing some improvement, and they need every day together that they can get right now.
After this game is over, what's the next step for you? Obviously, you guys don't have practice tomorrow. I mean, what's the next step for Coach Francione?
Well, next week we'll start meetings with our players, and each player will meet individually with his position coach, and then I will meet individually with every player on our football team. And our coaches will be going out in May to recruit, to look at next year's seniors. This is a zone play right here, and a good cutback by Charlie Jones and finding that seam. About to run out of time here on the half, so they're going to have to go deep if they want to get some points on the board. But May will be a busy recruiting time for us. We want our players to be here this summer to lift in the weight room and work out together. And we need that very badly to gain more strength and get stronger as a football team and as individuals. June we have a football camp for young children, 3rd grade on up, and then we have a high school football camp that we will have, and we'll be working very hard on the next season. And then somewhere along the line, we'll try to take a little bit of time off and let coaches recharge their batteries a little bit before we get started into two-a-days.
I know it sounds like you got a pretty full summer.
Well, it's been very hectic, starting new and trying to get families moved and to put everything in place that you need to when you start new in a program. And then some of us need to sell our house and back where we've come from and get our families moved here sooner or later. Fortunately, I have been able to get my family here.
Well, you were able to put a coaching staff together fairly quickly. I mean, obviously, again, this isn't your first coaching stop. What sort of connections did you have that came to fruition?
Well, fortunately, when you're in the game for 25, 26 years, you know a lot of coaches, and TCU has a good reputation, and I brought some guys with me that was a great help. Here's an option play. Jeff probably could have pitched that one, and it might have been a little bit bigger play, but good run by him. And then we picked up a couple guys off the Oklahoma staff, Chris Thurman and Kenneth Pope. Chris has recruited the state of Texas for many years. Kenny Pope played in Texas high school football down in the Triangle area. Charlie North came to us from Arkansas as our director of football operations. We really have an outstanding staff. I mean, it's the guys that came with me. I added Jim Bob Helduser as our offensive line coach. Jim Bob had been with me in Southwest Texas. So we got guys that know this state, know these coaches, and know football and care about young people and them getting a degree and reaching their potential.
This could be, well, probably a couple more plays. 13 seconds left in the half. This is a 2nd and 4.
Yeah, this is sooner or later, if the Purple may be comfortable just going in with a lead here and not doing anything too shaky, but if they're going to score, they're probably going to have to take a shot, and here it is right here. They're going to go deep.
Dover got James.
Cedric James. Good coverage, though. Curtis Fuller right there with Cedric, and it's Larry Hollenquist maybe right there.
Now, I notice you reiterated that family atmosphere in your conversation there. That seems to be the atmosphere you're trying to build with these players, and let them know that this is a family thing.
Well, it is. I want our players to know that we care about them, obviously, getting a degree, and we care about them as football players, but we care about them as individuals. And we've done a number of team-building things. We went bowling one night as a team. We went to the basketball game and cheered for the basketball team together. Wednesday, we're going to go to the baseball game and tailgate and cheer for the baseball team. And it's just, we want to do things that are not always house school, house football, house weights going, so that they know that we care about them in all aspects of their life.
That's important for young people today.
Well, it is. I think it's one of the pivotal things of team building today, without a doubt. And I think if a young person knows that you care about him, you can do a lot with him on the field.
I agree.
And if this was a quarterback draw play to finish out the half, and
Williams fought off a double-team block there.
Fought off a block there and got a piece of Jeff, and so it's halftime, and now the big game comes on.
That's right.
I hope we've got a good medical staff out here available today.
Of course, we got out of this first half with nobody being hurt, too.
Well, I don't know if we get through halftime now in Letterman's game with it saying the same thing, but we'll see. Huh?
Now, we don't have Letterman roster, so we'll just kind of play this one by ear here. We'll just kind of watch and see what happens, and maybe giggle just a little bit if we can get away with it. Now, Coach, is there anything on the line, any side, wagers is certainly a dirty word. I wouldn't want to say that any of the coaches would engage in that sort of behavior. Anything on the line here for this game?
Well, I think maybe the purple coaching staff and the white coaching staff might have lunch on this.
I see.
But it doesn't matter. Coaches are so competitive that it's, in either way, they're going to play hard and coach hard. They want to win, and all that has to happen is the whistle blows and the competition begins.
I think that's for sure. Well, they've marked off, it looks like, about 80 yards here, and they will go as far wide as the numbers.
And that's going to help a whole lot. Because some of the guys probably wish they would have cut this thing in about 50 yards after they get to run a little bit.
They may wish this halftime was shorter than they thought.
And finally for the white team, we have number 56, Preston Nix. Now introducing the roster.
They are divided into white and purple again. They're announcing their rosters here.
Now this is the game the crowd really came to see.
I have a feeling there are members in the crowd that came specifically for this.
Number 38, Ken Post. Next, we have number 72, John Marsh. Next is number 20.
I think we got some ex-linemen down there.
I was going to say, whenever you get ex-linemen in the flag football games, that's where it gets real interesting.
Either ex-linemen or they grew into linemen after eligibility was over.
Next, wearing number 37 is Bill Lennon.
Yeah, sometimes the linemen, I've noticed, don't always stay consistent with the flag football rules. They were...
Well, in games like this, they all become skilled athletes. They're all open, and they are all ready to catch the ball.
That's right.
17 minutes running clock.
And they may be calling up here hoping that we punch a couple minutes. Off of this thing before long.
Renegotiate that
Well,
clock
see,
time.
that's if Coach Francione leaves us for a second, we're told that might be where he goes because the clock booth is just down to our right. And it is his prerogative to go down there and change the numbers on it.
I'm the Paul Tagliabue of TCU football today. I have control as commissioner. And
no, they're going. Let's see. With the 80-yard field, they're giving the ball in the 40.
That's a nice place to start. Good field position.
Oh yeah. You feel pretty comfortable with the support you've got from the community since you've been here?
there's no doubt this community, I think, is very hungry for TCU football to be successful. I think all we've got to do is put a good product out there, and I believe we'll have lots of support. I really do.
But you're right. We've been hungry for a while for TCU football to kind of catch up with everybody else.
Well, I certainly believe we'll have a good program. It may take us a little while to get everything in place, but I really believe that we will.
Right.
Now, this is a Kent Nix. Now, there's quite a story. And he's 1 for 1 right off the bat today.
They used their trick play on the first play, too.
But, you know, you got to remember, now, Kent played, he was on the first Super Bowl team, Green Bay Packers. I don't know if he was active for the game, but he was telling me about that. And so we'll see if he's, you know, maybe Coach Lombardi should have had him active. You know, he should have been going here. He's 1 for 1 right now.
I had his football card. Sure, when he was with the Saints, I think. So they could do worse here at quarterback then.
We've got some history on the field.
Again, Nix's pass goes incomplete.
One thing about Kent's position is he doesn't have to run a whole lot.
That's
He's
right.
going to be the most rested guy on the field.
Yeah, I think he's feeling pretty good. Couple pump fakes here, nobody open, so we take the check down.
He's not going to understand why you're breathing hard.
And I think they cut him some slack there. That ball was a lateral. They went ahead and called it incomplete.
For the white team, number 55, John Moore is now playing.
They do have a few substitutes here. They're playing this, looks like 8-on-8.
Oh, look at this catch.
Diving catch.
But you can see that the purple team did a better job of recruiting, too.
Well, and that was probably maybe the key to the game, is who's got enough stamina to last.
That's right. That's right. The last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I would run the ball control offense here for sure. You don't want to be running too many deep routes.
Yeah, well, obviously we don't have a 25-second clock. Yeah.
Maybe a little trash talking going on down there, Will.
82, Eddie Clark.
And a new
we're going
quarterback.
Good coverage. Good coverage.
Clark's pass
That was, I don't know if they realized it, but that was out of the end zone anyway. Yeah, the end zone stops at the 15.
Yeah, it's just impressive to see somebody that's still throwing the ball that well down the field.
Boy, that's for sure. Now, another, back to the original game, we will point him out when something happens. Derek Canine you moved him to safety.
We did. As spring wore on, Derek was probably the 4th quarterback on the depth chart, and it's just impossible to work 4 quarterbacks, so we gave him an option of maybe trying another position. He was interested in doing that, and our defensive coaches that are hopeful that in time, you know, when he gets a little more time to learn his new position, that he can make an impact on this team. Derek's very strong. He's a great weight room guy, and certainly from that aspect, he's got some talent to help us. Here we got a replay here, the fake, and
another pretty good out.
Thanks.
Pretty good. No, that's not an easy route to throw. He hummed it.
Uh-oh, going deep again.
Just out of the end zone.
Now, you guys do have a whirlpool going for this game, right?
We brought in extra ones for this game. Extra ice.
We're going to need a little bit of it.
I have a feeling we may need a lot here before the day's over.
Well,
these guys are not in too bad a shape, considering they have played, you know, about 5-6 minutes now. But, of course, when you're diving on the ground like this.
Well, nobody's had a heart attack yet.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I think a lot of their pain may come tomorrow.
Yeah.
Football is one of those games where if you haven't played it, your muscles are pretty
kind of
sore
breaking
the
the huddle
next day.
a little slower.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, maybe a flag here? Nope.
I think there's no blood, no foul in these kind of games.
And the free safety came over to break it up.
Getting a hand on the football was Craig Garrison.
Craig Garrison, I overheard Paul McManus, the PA announcer, identify the guy that broke it up. Wearing number 33.
Looks like the white team's taking over on downs here now.
So now we'll see what they've got. Well, Kent Nix gave it the about 2 plays and then subbed himself out and has cleverly remained on the sideline.
He's not icing the arm down yet, so we may see him again here in a few minutes.
Yeah, and I noticed he didn't put himself back in on defense either.
That was a shaky snap there.
Oh, Clark should have had the pick.
Hit him in a bad spot.
He'll be talking about that one all next week.
Yeah.
That's right.
The one that got away from him.
Nearly taking the interception for the purple team was Eddie Clark.
Now, if we see that snap there, how about the center position?
Right there brings a concern, doesn't it?
I just thought, hey, how about that center position?
I know. You can't get the center quarterback exchange. It's difficult to get anything else done.
And
Roy's pass goes incomplete.
White team is struggling here.
Very much so.
McElroy overthrowing.
Yeah, that's my neighbor there.
Well, I believe his son played for Arlington Heights.
He did, Zach did.
Third down now for the white team.
Coach, if you ever recruit a Fort Worth kid, you'll find that Will and I know him.
That's right.
We've seen just about every Fort Worth high school kid to come through here in the past few years. So
Purple defense is kind of playing way back here.
if you go out of Fort Worth, you pretty much reach the limit of our expertise. Wow.
Big play.
That's a good catch.
Get that guy's number. We might need to bring him back if he has any eligibility left. This is one-on-one coverage, and Harold launches it.
And you just mentioned that the purple team defense was playing back, but so far the white team seems to be wanting to go deep a lot.
White team went up there and out-horsed him for the ball, didn't they?
They're on the, the yard marker indicates they're on the 29. They're actually on the 4. You only have to get to the 25 to score.
May try to run it in.
Oh, a good tackle, if you want to call it that.
Tell you what, now, Harold showed that he did have some moves at one point in time of his career.
Right.
Here, he's on the scramble, and he decides to run with it. And
now, this is an excellent idea to have this game, because usually at halftime of a scrimmage game, usually everybody's just kind of sitting around on their hands, but this is something that's real good.
There are people talking more about this game.
You better know it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
First score of the day.
The white team takes the lead.
Made it look easy.
And the clock is working against the purple team.
I think the purple's going to have to get some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, because he did have seemingly all
way
day.
too much time to throw.
Right. Now, do we know what the rules are for pass rushing?
I think they're making those up as they go.
As they go. You rush if you're not tired.
Yeah, if you're not tired, you can rush. That's it.
Yeah. In case you're just joining us, there is more football and pads to come up. This is the TCU spring game.
I was going to say, somebody looking at listening and say, hey, TCU purple and white game, wait a minute.
Yeah. And they put the flag.
The 2-point conversion attempt here.
Oh, some modest pressure there on the quarterback.
Well, I don't know if he meant to slide, but it was a well executed one if he did. So it's 6-0.
A little more pressure on the quarterback this time. And
well, actually, if he flicks this ball here, he's got his 2-point conversion made. But he decides he wants to run it.
well, coordination took over, and he didn't quite make it.
Go for the glory. All right, so they take over on the 40, which is, of course, effectively the 20.
You know what happens is the mind remembers this, but the body can't quite regenerate it.
Sure, you're right. You know exactly what you should be able to do, and so you go and you start to do it, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. The fast muscle twitch is no longer there.
That's right.
But it is both teams here. We'll see if the purple rallies.
Oh, they only sent 3 out in the pattern that time. Max protection again, I think.
I have a feeling that the purple if they don't think the ball's going to be thrown to them, they don't go.
No, that's not called for them. That
rest are decoys.
There you go.
Yeah, 4 outlet receivers.
Yeah, there's definitely max protection here. Even the backs are wanting to stay in.
And that despite the complete absence of any pass rush. Oh, and a pick.
Pick. This could be a touchdown.
His flag fell off, I think they're saying.
So, oh, no.
An excessive celebration, I think? A flag?
Those referees will get you every time.
Well, his flag had fallen off back at the 43, and so that's why they stopped play again. I think making the rules up as they go along, which is fine.
Because of flag football rules,
yep.
The interception will be rolled down at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, he's running with no flag.
Just a good read.
And there was the example of a lineman, I think that was John Marsh, figuring that, hey, he doesn't have a flag.
Yeah.
Got to tackle him.
Well, the white now has a touchdown and the purple doesn't here, so this could be if they play their cards right, they can ice the game if they huddle very long.
Only 6 minutes to go here in this flag football game. But, you know, this is not exactly a game where you can keep it on the ground and run out the clock either. Five men into the pattern this time.
White team's being very aggressive, man. They're throwing the ball down the field. They're Oakland Raiders style right now.
Joe Kruger along with John Denton were the closest receivers down there.
Now, we had a number 74 for the purple team show up a little later. He went out on the field with his jersey still up in the air, so I think the purple are pulling out the ringers now.
That's right.
Yeah, they're behind. They've got to rally somehow here.
Snuck back in the locker room and grabbed a coach or something.
I don't know. These huddles are taking a while now.
It is a running clock, so.
Do better with the old guy.
They're right out where the TCU decal would be if this were an actual fall game. They have to let that turf grow back.
Yeah, I tell you what, they do a great job with our field down there. You know, and we just need some warm weather now and let the Bermuda take over and grow.
And it will get warm.
It will do that. And
Well,
we'll have a great field for fall.
Yeah.
I would presume that you are a guy that likes a natural grass field.
Oh, yes, by far. There's no doubt. I've seen it enough times that the training room report's a little longer after a turf game than it is a grass game.
Yeah, TCU didn't make that conversion too long ago. At one time, the whole Southwest Conference was all turf.
Well, that was a very vogue thing to do, and but down here where you have pretty good weather, if you don't have too many activities on your field, you can have a good grass field. If it's a multi-purpose facility, then it makes it very difficult sometimes.
And that's nice. I mean, TCU has their track. They have a place they can play soccer games. They don't have to use this field for anything but what it's supposed to be for.
That's right. That is very nice. This is a neat old stadium.
A lot of stuff going on at TCU today, by the way. We told you about the baseball team's big win. There was a soccer game going on, women's soccer. And another incompletion. But, of course, that doesn't stop the clock. So 3.5 to go, and the clock still moves. Purple is going to get the ball back.
Well, this could be Purple's Mayday offense right here. This could be the 2-minute drill for them.
Well, they can't run too deep because the kickers for the regular game are getting limbered up down past their end zone.
Now, the man to watch on the purple team is number 83. He's a deep route runner every play they've ran. See?
Yeah.
Every single time they've lined up on offense, he's a deep threat.
He's going down the middle, blowing the top off the coverage.
And they have not thrown the ball to him one time. He's open.
Trying to stretch that defense.
He is open.
He's probably coming back to the huddle telling them that he was open.
And you figure after you run about 3 or 4 of those things downfield about 20 yards like that, he's got to say, throw me the ball at least one time.
Yeah, that's right. Force it in there. All right, so second down, and now the clock reads 2:30. Deep again. Oh, and he was open.
This could have been the hidden man. I'm not sure they didn't run that guy off the sideline.
Yeah, I count 9 out there, Coach. I think that might have been the play.
Purple's resorting to all kinds of tactics now.
They're pulling it all
All right,
out.
they've used their trick play now.
And he waved it off.
Uh-oh, flag down. They may have caught him. Oh. No harm, no
I
foul.
guess that's legal. Yeah. They missed our number 83 there, though. He ran the, he didn't just run downfield. He crossed.
Yeah, that was a deep crossing route that time.
He's going deep again.
There he goes.
Oh,
again.
and they ignored him.
Now he's going to tell these guys after the game, all you have to do is throw it to me just one more time.
Yeah. I have been open every play.
That's a first down, I think. I think they got the first down with 1:30 to go.
Again, too good a protection there. The white team's not generating a pass rush.
That's right.
They're in the prevent right now.
They didn't rush, but they didn't contain either. Oh, the little flare.
That one fooled nobody.
Kent Post, the receiver. And now only 60 seconds left. Purple team needs a touchdown to tie. And they send 5 out this time. Kind of need to go downfield
we got
here.
one open on the wheel route here. And missed him,
And
the ball is
intercepted.
picked. I believe this may ice.
No, they say he was out of the end zone.
Oh, out of the end zone.
End zone stopped at the 15 there.
Oh, they had a chance to ice the victory here. 30 seconds to go.
Yep.
So we get a first-hand look here.
20 seconds left in the game.
I'd say this will be the last play. What do you think?
I would guess so. Because they won't all make it back to the huddle by the by the time 20 seconds has elapsed. And so they go to the end zone. Oh, they got a guy.
Oh, and it's incomplete. I thought maybe it was there.
That would have tied the game. That would have been, I would guess we would not have had overtime. They would have found some other way to settle their differences.
I don't think overtime would have been good.
All right. So the ex-Letterman's game ends up in a 6-0 win for the white team.
You forgot to say the first annual. Right?
First annual. And so now we will take a very short break, and then we'll be right back with you for the second half of the varsity spring game. Stay with us. You're watching Community Cable Television.
This is Community Cable Television, tuned in to Fort Worth.
All right, we're back. Now, you're just joining us. You just missed the first penalty of the game. First play from scrimmage. Somebody was offside.
Yeah, really no turnovers and not too bad in that aspect of the game so far today, which is encouraging. I believe we got Royce Huffman out playing a little bit now at receiver.
Yes, he is out there.
He's a slot receiver at this point. Toe the option the other way.
Uh-oh, this may go all the way.
All they had to do was get his flag there. Patrick Bateau, and boy, well, you like his speed, that's for sure.
Now that will make your defense very upset. They figure we can't tackle this guy. He's running through us like this.
Well, and what can also be encouraging is that they can't get close enough to touch him. That's a replay of the first play, not of the last play. But it may.
Larry Hollandquist, I think, is the guy that finally got him. But that was the Patrick Bateau showing off his athletic talent for the white team now.
That was a good run by Patrick.
After having played for the purple team in the first quarter.
And as you alluded to, you're going to give this young man every opportunity that you possibly can to win this starting position if it's there for them.
We are, and today is going to be one of the good days to take a look at Patrick in somewhat of a game situation. Here's the option out of the shotgun. Good block by Royce Huffman, and nice run by George Lane. Right there, Lamar Beal kind of tripped him up, and Nathan Schaefer came in and finished him off. But first down inside the 5 here. White team could tie the ball game up here.
That's right. It's 7-0 purple. we got that replay again. That's all right. It's spring for us too.
There you go. It's one of those days.
It's spring training.
It's spring game for us too.
Yep.
That's right. It's just a scrimmage. But, I mean, and this is fun. In fact, as I was walking over to the sports information office, I passed a couple players, and one said to the other, this is going to be fun. But this is also, I mean, this is a chance for the coaching staff to evaluate these players, too. I mean, it does need to be somewhat serious from that aspect of it.
Well, we've handled it in a serious manner, and so have the players. But it's been fun for the players. And there's a good run by George Lane, and good second effort. He took a good hit by LeVar Veal and still managed to get the ball in the end zone.
You like to see that from your running backs, that they don't go down on the first contact.
Oh, you bet. I tell you what, they make you a lot better coach when they can break a tackle or two, and you don't have to block. Your offensive line looks better when they don't have to make every block.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
It makes it a lot better. So here we go, trying to make it a 7-7 game.
Kirk Johnson will attempt the point after, and Jeff Dover holds. And these are the kind of little things you have to determine in spring practice too, Coach. I mean, who holds for the field goals? Who's your deep snapper? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, especially for us being new, we don't know a lot of those things, and so we have a lot of work to do. And finding that out, we've lost a great kicker in this program in Michael Reeder, and we've got to determine who's going to take his place for next year. We signed an outstanding kicker, Joy Biasotti from Burleson, but we've had a couple young men here in camp that have done a nice job too. But we're a long way away from settling some of the issues as to who will be playing, starting actually, or go into the first game as a starter.
Hey, you've had some walk-ons come into the program as well, and tell us how you view walk-ons. How is that? How can they impact a program?
Well, there's no doubt they can make a big impact in a program. There's nothing scientific completely about this profession as far as evaluating talent. You look at the NFL today, these people they're drafting, they have timed them, they've weighed them, they've measured them, they've watched them practice, they've worked them out, they've given them a mental test and physical test, and now they're going to pay them $1 million, and they still have some that don't work out. So certainly we know that there are young men out there with scholarship limitations today that can come in, make an impact, and make your team better and earn a scholarship, or just be a part of the football team and help us. We encourage that a great deal. We've been working hard in the last couple months to recruit walk-ons into our program.
Fumbled snap. The white team on top of it.
Big turnover here now. Big turn of events. Purple has a 7-0 lead. Now it's 7-7 and a turnover on the snap.
If there's such a thing as momentum in a spring game, the white team has it now.
They have it right now. There's no doubt about it. That was Sean Wortham coming in there to recover the fumble. Sean's had a good spring. He has a chance to be a good defensive tackle for us. And he's very athletic, and he's pretty quick, and he's been a force this spring without a doubt.
Kevin Colin was the Purple quarterback there. I think he might have been a little reluctant to dive on top of that ball, understandably, in the spring game.
I did not see what the
personal foul
penalty was for, but
only the second penalty of the game. And it goes against the white team. Well, and that's maybe the first displeasing thing you've probably seen today.
Yeah, 2 penalties here to start the second half, but other than that, it has really been pretty good. Now we've dropped the center quarterback exchange. That's going to happen when different quarterbacks are working with different centers somewhat, but those are things that, you find ways to lose football games, and those are ways you can beat yourself, certainly, if they get too many of those.
So Jeff Dover is now the white quarterback. And he's got a man. complete all the way down to the 10-yard line.
That was an excellent
Lance
play.
Williams, the fullback.
Well, that was a good throw and catch, and that was the white team using their trick play. They put that play in especially for today. That's something the defense has not seen this spring.
And it drew everybody off.
It did. The roll the other way, and then Jeff does a good job of getting that ball off in the face of some pressure there coming from Reuben Vaughn, who is another local guy here from here in town.
A 39-yard pass play, first and goal.
Reuben Vaughn is maybe a guy that will benefit from off-season weights as well.
He will. He made some progress in the off-season, and he needs to have a good summer, without a doubt.
So the long pass completion, they're inside the 10. White having tied the game, threatening to score again. And the option goes nowhere.
A nice play there, you know, by the defense. That was Charlie Owens who came up and made that tackle, and that was a good play by him.
That time we had a chance to see the speed on the defense.
We did. Defense went sideways very well, and good read by Charlie. Slow played the quarterback and then broke and got involved with the pitch, and that's a good play by him.
Now, we mentioned the aggressiveness of the defense, and the offense is playing pretty aggressive as well, but you want to cut down on the penalties, of course. I'm pretty sure you're going to be preaching the gospel of no penalties. Play tough, but no penalties.
Those are one of the miscues that can hurt you. Now, you don't worry too much about aggressive penalties. I mean, you'd rather have to tone them down than to get them going, but you do worry about the dumb penalties. Those are things that hurt you sometimes.
Give me run.
Dover throwing the out.
Pretty good coverage there in the secondary. They had that pretty well covered, and really not much they could do with it. Third down now back at the 14, so they've got to go to the end zone and see what they can get done, or settle for a field goal.
Dana Robinson is number 24 here. Maybe a little early contact.
Well, the ball was thrown out of bounds. It was really an uncatchable, so.
And Jeff Dover going to call timeout here.
White team's going to think this one over, huh?
Well, there's maybe lunch riding on this. It's a big play right here. Third and goal from the 14. And so Jeff Dover knows, he knows how important that is to those coaches. Those coaches don't miss a lot of, miss a lot of meals.
Yeah, you're on to that right off, aren't you? Well, I tell you.
One thing that's good about having you up here and covering this game with us is all the young men that are in high schools getting a chance to actually meet you. They get a chance to kind of feel you out and see what kind of person you are, so this is good for them.
It is. I think there are a lot of great things about our school, and I think if they're around our coaching staff, and they'll have a good feeling about the family atmosphere that we have here. And certainly TCU is a family-oriented school, I believe that. And it's good for us here today.
Because a lot of the high school players here in the city, they watch the replays of themselves from our replay, but this is a good chance for them to meet you, though. Well, so I'm glad you had a chance to come up and do this game with us.
Me too. Here's a replay of the touchdown, the run by George, and he's really hit on about the 3 there and just makes a great effort to get that, keep his feet and get in the end zone. That's a good run by George. He's going to be a good football player. He's just a freshman, and we hope he's ready next year.
Well, we can get bigger and stronger.
He can.
And we keep seeing stuff here, Coach, that just makes your fullback decision that much tougher. Williams caught the big pass, and Lane had the strong run, and we've seen some good stuff from Porch.
That was a very close right there. That was kind of a corner smash concept route, and Jeff threw it to the corner, and smart on his part. Either we catch it or nobody catches it, and got the ball off, avoided the sack, so this was a good job.
Looking for Tavares Moore.
Pretty good coverage by the defense. Well, this is a big kick now. This could give the white team the edge here early in the third quarter.
Looking for a 31-yard field goal. And Kyle Williams to kick. Had the distance,
no
but
good.
Wide left. So
you watch both officials kind of take a peek at each other and just
to make sure.
Wait a minute now. I don't know. That was close.
Back. So Williams, a freshman walk-on from Houston, misses the chance to give his team the lead. And there are some kickers on this roster, Will, so that's unfortunate for him. He had his shot. That's a tougher kick than it would have been from the middle of the field, certainly. Kicking from that left hash mark.
Well, the purple survives their turnover, and we've got a tie here now, and it'll be interesting finish up here.
We are 4:56 to go in the third. And that was not Coach Francione, by the way, sneaking off to take time off the clock, yes. Although, as we mentioned earlier, he does have that prerogative if he feels it to be necessary.
I don't think it'll be necessary today. This is going pretty well, and people seem to be holding up pretty well. It's not too hot a day. Spread draw again. Nice play by Aaron Schobel there, number 14. He's very good at getting reads on what's going on, and he's a hard young man to fool. He's got great instincts to play that position.
He's been all over the field, as a matter of fact.
He has. You can see he started an inside pass rush and saw where the ball ended up and makes a tackle for very little gain. We got LaDainian Tomlinson coming back in there.
So Tomlinson and Jones and Basil Mitchell, I guess, was shaken up a little bit in that first half.
Yeah, Basil bruised his ribs. I'm not sure he'll play much more the rest of the day. So it'll probably be those guys handling the duties.
At least it's an injury like that that you've got all summer to heal.
Well, and that's not too severe an injury, certainly. And, quarterback got his foot stepped on there and didn't get away from the center.
And we've seen that a couple of times today. What do you think the problem is there?
Well, we have our offensive line is a little bit back off the ball. And I think our center quarterback exchange, sometimes the quarterbacks are staying in there a little long and somebody's taking a step and stepping on their foot and causing that to happen. And hopefully when we settle with a first-team quarterback and a center and get some things worked out a little bit better, we can eliminate that problem, because that's not a fun problem to have.
Of course not.
Third and long here, 4 wide, receivers in the game, and quarterback draw, and a fumble.
Colin lost it. The white team's got it.
White team has got the ball. And that was an unforced error. Kevin evidently trying to put the ball away, dropped it, and that's a tough mistake there.
And I think Schobel got it, Coach.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I did not see. We'll see on the replay here maybe who recovered the fumble, but the defense has got a twist there between the ends and tackles, and ball's out, and there is number 14 right there.
So is there any sort of MVP or anything awarded for this spring game? Because he's kind of a front runner right now.
I'd say he's got a pretty good shot at it right now. Patrick Bateau's probably in there too. We will announce our spring awards after we watch the film and kind of recognize the people that made every practice, didn't get hurt, those kinds of things.
And Bateau. Now I know the rule. I know the opposing team can't touch Bateau, but what is the rule for his own team?
Well, they probably did the same. I guess you'd have to say on that one.
He bumped into Lance Williams.
Well, this is kind of a dive option type thing, and actually it's kind of hard to tell on the replay there who exactly got knocked back into Patrick, but we've got second and about 12 now.
So a loss of 2 on the play. There is no 25-second clock, at least not kept on the field.
We're not running those today. We've got too many different combinations playing, too many substitution things that we're not ready for a 25-second clock at this point in time.
So George Lane got the carry and got back
play
what they
scored a
lost.
touchdown on earlier. So now we've got a third and 11, and there's the give to George, and defense is on the spot there. Third and 11, and so White would surely like to pick this up, I would say, and avoid having to go to another field goal situation down here.
Inside 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's 7-7. Bateau's pass picked off.
They had good pressure on him that time. He forced that one.
They did. That was a sprint out, and they did not do a great job of protecting for him. And he probably wishes he hadn't thrown that ball. That was probably an ill-advised throw into some coverage there.
And this is one of the things I'm pretty sure during the regular season that you'll cover is when you get this close, you don't want the guys to give a turnover.
Yeah, well, you don't want to turn it over here because you take your chance to kick a field goal off the board. And that hurts you worse than anything. That was Russell Gary on the interception there. But you'd like at least live to fourth down to be able to kick the field goal here and take a 10-7 lead.
So it remains tied. 3 turnovers now after having none in the first half. We've had all 3 in the second half. Tomlinson, about a 3 or 4 yard pickup for him. He has been the most active runner today. 9 carries, a little over 30 yards.
Well, it's good to see him fighting through his ankle there and showing some toughness today, because he did not do much most of the week in practice. Wednesday was the last day we worked out, so he had a couple extra days to heal here, and he's out there doing a pretty good job right now.
It's been a quick third quarter.
It has, and I haven't punched any time off.
So
following that flag game, I told you that was a tough game to follow.
Yes, it was.
2nd and 7 here. And Kevin Colon will be the quarterback for the rest of the way.
He's trying to run the option there, and too much penetration by Kyle Williams. That was a nice play by Kyle. Kyle's been a factor here for the White defense here in the game early, because he's been able to get some penetration, and you can see him there on the coming through there and getting some penetration on our guard and really disrupting the play and causing the play to break down.
Cam Hunt also in the backfield there.
3rd down and long now.
Now tell us about Cam Hunt. He's a pretty highly recruited player coming out of high school and went to TCU, and he's certainly a guy you look for good things from this year.
Well, as the 3rd quarter ends here, Cam has had a good spring. He's a senior. He'll be a starter as we leave spring practice at defensive end. We have depth up there on both sides of the football, so but we've been real pleased with his progress this spring. 7-7 going into the 4th quarter.
Can't ask for better than that. One more 10-minute quarter to play here in the TCU Purple-White game. You're watching Community Cable Television, Channel 45. Rush Olson and Will Williams, joined by Dennis Francione in his first spring game at TCU, that is. And this has been fun. This has been very enjoyable. Hopefully we'll get the good reviews in the paper. I don't know. They may check us out on tape delay, and they'll see what they think of us.
You never know. Maybe I've got a second opportunity in life as a commentator, huh?
I would say so.
The way things go these days, hey.
That's true. That's not a bad skill to develop. If you know something about football and you can talk about it, it's a pretty good skill to have. Good job security.
Well, there have been some days when people have questioned whether we knew anything about football, but that's only on the tough ones.
That's right. All right, so 3rd and 14. Colon the rollout.
Sprint out, good throw and catch. Torrey Simmons, well, White's saying incomplete. The officials, I think, are calling it a catch, yes.
It's not going to be enough for a first down in any case. Only got up to about the 28, and they needed the 34. But a strong throw here from Kevin Colon. On the run, no less.
Kelly, please go.
And in your offense, I would suspect those quarterbacks have got to be able to throw on the move.
Well, we want to move the quarterback around and sprint out and do bootlegs and things, and we want him to force the edge from time to time, and we want the defense have to worry about where he will throw the football from. So an athletic guy is going to be much more beneficial for us.
So first possession of the 4th quarter for the White team.
Well, a little field position here. Not too bad. A little bit of breeze somewhat behind their back, I guess.
Jeff Dover will quarterback them.
Looking at the schedule here, your home opener is going to be Oklahoma rolling in here, huh?
Yeah, the second week. We go to Iowa State to start the season and come home for Oklahoma, and then we have an open week and have Air Force come in here. We play a lot of home games early in the season. We have 6 home games next year. We've got a good schedule. You know, want to encourage the fans to buy season tickets. You know, the first place that you always need to do well when you're going to turn around a program is at home.
That's right.
And in order to do well at home, you have to have a home field advantage, and that takes people in the stands. So hopefully we'll have some good crowds.
You intend to try to build an atmosphere here so when teams come in to play TCU that they're coming to take on the entire city of Fort Worth.
Well, I hope so. That's what we want to develop, that kind of pride. And certainly with our players, we've already talked about this being our home field and that we want to protect our home turf and do a good job of playing right here in our home stadium. And we've tried to take that approach with them this spring.
Do you think that's tougher in an urban setting like Fort Worth than in a more maybe a Nebraska or even a New Mexico?
No, I don't think so. I think you know, when the program turns and we start putting good football teams and playing exciting football on the field, I think we can have good crowds. And I know that we talked the other day about what was the best time to have our game times, and basically it doesn't matter what time kickoff is if you're winning.
That's right.
And I think that was a good point that they made that when we were talking about that.
Come on, D! Go, D!
And now's one of those times when it's good there's no 25-second clock.
Yeah, third down and
14.
Long. And we're going pretty deep into the depth chart here at times, so it is good that we don't have the 25-second clocks to worry about.
2 tight ends and 2 wideouts.
Going deep, and this could be picked off. It is picked off.
Ball was underthrown just a little bit.
Nathan Schaefer on the interception, and Jeff underthrew it just a little bit, and he needed to get that ball over the outside shoulder of the receiver, so it's either our catcher, the receiver's catcher, or nobody's, and Nathan did a good job here. Protection broke down a little bit. I believe that's Sean Wortham putting a little pressure on the quarterback and makes it a little harder for him, or maybe that was Reuben Bond that was putting pressure on the quarterback.
It was 96, I believe.
And,
well, and that's good to see from Reuben. I mean, obviously he's another one of those Fort Worth guys, and we always like to see them do well. But you know, he hasn't contributed maybe as much as he'd hoped his first stint in the program.
well, he's just a freshman. It takes time, and there's going to be a penalty on somebody. I think maybe the officials let him play on that, but maybe they should have blown that one dead. Definitely a busted
pretty well
assignment
broken
there.
down there. There were 2 flags thrown, as a matter of fact, and they call the white team for being across the line, which they certainly were.
Well, they didn't blow it dead, and so they got the stamp.
But maybe they didn't make contact, and so they didn't blow it dead. Anyway, so the Bateau made a nice gain there before they touched him.
Well, the white was probably a little bit confused and thinking the play wasn't alive, and all of a sudden it was. So we got 3 wide receivers in now, and Patrick under center, and got a little more field position for him to operate with. Another option play that he did well on, and he's loose again, and Curtis Fuller makes a stop for us. But well blocked by the offensive line there, and got Patrick loose on the option. Good run, and it's hard to kind of see the point of attack blocks there, but Curtis is the one guy that's difficult for the offense to get blocked, and he does a good job of filling the alley and making the play.
Well, and I mean the fact that you really, I mean, when they're playing flag football with the red jerseys, and it's pretty obvious that a play's blocked pretty well when he picks up 10 yards and he's playing touch and everybody else is not.
That's right. That's a good indication. And Patrick's had a nice game other than the 1 interception. He's done some nice things. It's been impressive to watch him.
So if he's watching the replay, he feels pretty good about that.
There's play action pass, and Going to try to go deep, and protection breaks down. And this is what Patrick can do for you. Better than the other quarterbacks, maybe a little bit. He makes a nice play-action fake there. Protection breaks down. The guy's covered, and now instead of 2nd and 10 or 12, the purple team is going to be looking at 2nd and 2 or 3.
And this is then is the skill that attracted you to him right off.
You know, he takes a bad play and turns it into a good play. 2nd and 1 now instead of 2nd and maybe 10 or 12, and that's the things Patrick can do for you right there. His athleticism took over.
Bateau had 27 catches last year for nearly 400 yards. So he's a guy to get in the field, pretty much.
Well, there's no doubt he has to be out there. I don't need him standing by me. There's an option play, good block, and Aaron Schobel comes clear from the backside to make that play. May have picked up the first down there. It'll depend on where they mark it, but you know, that was a good play by Aaron. I think he came from all the way on the backside. He was play side, maybe. Yeah, he was play side. He got off a block and made a tackle there.
Aaron is only a sophomore, or will be a sophomore. So he
had a good redshirt freshman campaign, and he's a good football player. He's got his, again, I mentioned his instincts of having a good feel for where the ball is.
You obviously played against this team as coach at New Mexico. You've certainly seen them when you prepared for those games. What were some of the surprises in spring this year?
Well, you know, every day was somewhat of a new day because I tried not to prejudge the kids at all. And so when you start fresh, it's difficult. One of the guys that we moved over, though, Jason Illian, went from linebacker to tight end and did a nice job there. I think we've got a guy that could be a pretty good tight end for us there. Bo Gross moved out to tight end and did some nice things. Our corners came on, and we were concerned about whether we had what we had at corner, and they came on and had a pretty good spring. So that was encouraging. And the purple is just short, so we've got a 4th down and inches.
With 5:46 to go. Now, is there any sort of overtime rule here?
No, that's probably, we'll probably settle for a 7-7 tie and go from there if we can get through the day. But the purple's going to go for it here, so this is a big call in the course of the game plan right now with just 5 minutes to go.
They will go for it. Haven't seen any punts this half. That's in part because of the turnover.
Inside zone play, a little penetration, but I believe Charlie Jones picked up the first down. Yeah. They went over the right side there, and a little bit of movement on that side.
Is there a sneak in the playbook? Not that you'd use it in this situation.
Well, not for spring practice. I'll tell you a guy that you talk about surprises. We moved Victor Payne from defensive line to offensive line, and Victor is really going to be a force there in time. He's got to learn some pass blocking skills yet. But as far as coming off the ball and getting after people, and he's a 400-pound bencher, he's a 600-pound squatter. So when he comes off the ball, he's got a little lead behind him when he hits you.
And a guy usually that makes that transition brings a little nastiness with him,
he
too.
Has that.
Comes over from defense.
He has the great temperament to play the game. Here's an option play. Could not handle Schobel again. He makes another good play. The linebacker got a quick scrape there and then bottled the play up, so not much of a gain, maybe about a yard.
Making the stop was Aaron Schobel.
Well, Schobel, as we mentioned, had 5 tackles in the first scrimmage. And
I think
at
like
least that many today.
Had 5 in the second half here today, doesn't it? He's played pretty well.
Had 69 tackles last year. 42 of those were solo stops. He also had 7 sacks. Jones again.
Play, some nice cuts by Charlie there. Defense really did a pretty good job, and he made a couple cuts there and turned the play into a gain. Purple's going to be faced with a 3rd down and about 5 or 6 here, so
under 4 minutes to go.
They'd like to get this close enough and bang a field goal in, if nothing else here, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, somebody has to buy somebody lunch.
Yeah. Well, if we tie, they can all buy the commissioner.
That's right.
There you go. That works out even better.
That's even better.
So 4 wide receivers in the game, 3rd and 5. And we'll see what's going to happen. Quarterback draw. And he's not going to get the first down, though. So now we got 4th down, and I would bet this will be a field goal. Yes, it is.
So Dover is on. He's the holder. And he gets to hold for both teams. It's kind of funny when you see guys walk into the offensive backfield from both sides of the field. And they're going to have Chris Kylacki kick this one.
Chris has had some moments this spring, kicked pretty well. This is a 42-yarder.
This could be for the win here. Good
distance. I think he pulled it a little low to his left, and so it's still 7-7.
2:35 left for somebody to try to untie this game. The white team will get the ball. There's a flag been thrown down at about the 25-yard line. That could put the white team in a little more of a hole. And maybe with 2:35 left, the tension's running a bit high here. Maybe
I don't know what the penalty is for.
Perhaps some
going to be interesting.
Perhaps some side agreements on some of the different sides of the ball as well that we'd rather not know about. The competitiveness getting the best of them. So they'll sort this flag. They're going to wave the flag off.
Now, wouldn't you like to see that done in a game?
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the official saying, I made a mistake, I'm going to wipe this thing off.
That's right.
And,
we don't see enough of that these
that's
days.
right.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25, and they have 75 yards to go. 2 missed field goals, kind of the story of this second half.
Well, we've had a little bit of time to work on our 2-minute offense this spring, but not enough to be real good at it yet and real effective. That's one of the things that you just don't have as much time as you need to get some of those things done. There's a quick pass, and I think they called the quarterback down before maybe he got that one launched.
Strong rush by London Dunlap there.
And they're going to give him the gain, but didn't get much off of it.
It was a good throw under pressure from
Yes, it was.
Dover. Or rather, Colin. So it's hard to keep up with these quarterbacks. They keep switching teams.
Yeah, we've got Kevin Colin in now. So
now in for the white team.
He's got the 4th quarter for the white team, so we'll see how he does here.
Yeah, the stat sheet is just a mess. You've got, if you were to add up the team's yardage, of course, it'd make no sense whatsoever.
Comes a blitz. They did a decent job of picking it up. Kevin had to throw the ball away.
Wanted to hit Marshall Patty out of the backfield.
Now, that's a scary thought from a quarterback's perspective. He saw that blitzer come through completely unblocked.
Well, they may have had a hot read there that he had to pick up, and I think he did. 3rd down now. The white team has not done much here, and they haven't moved the clock much either. So
Purple may get a shot.
Purple may have the ball back with more time than you think.
3rd and 10 now.
This Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, and this Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Scores from Lane and Gross. Gross on the first possession of the game for the purple team.
Sprint out by Kevin, and he got him well covered. He has nowhere to throw the ball. He's throwing it away basically there. The white team will have to punt, and the purple will have 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go to try to get down back in field position, at least to try another field goal.
Game's still up for grabs.
Pretty good footwork there, I thought, by Colin to avoid that sack.
Well, they did a good job of covering the sprint out there. There really wasn't any place to throw the football, and he's trying to direct traffic there and stay away from him where he can at least get something on it, and then it's just finally I've got to throw the ball away.
Looks like maybe a timeout. Royce Huffman, by the way, has come in for his first punt of the game.
So you rip 3 home runs, you get another base hit, and you come over and hit a couple punts today.
The turnovers have prevented us from seeing much punting in the second half, and as you refer, he didn't get to do any punting in the first half because he was over making himself useful on the baseball diamond.
Ripping line drives and home runs over there, so he wasn't able to do that. We have a timeout called, and the Purple is charting their plans here to try to make a catch here on the punt, have a little field position, and see if they can get back in field goal range.
There's Royce hitting over 400 on the baseball diamond. Averaged 41.6 yards a kick last year.
It's a pretty good punter.
And one of the tough things about the way Royce Huffman does this, he kicks barefooted. But of course he has to return and play offense with his shoe on. You guys keep a shoehorn over on that sideline for him to make sure the equipment manager brings that with him.
Be ready to react quick with Royce now. There are things coming off and going back on. And okay, Purple ball at about the 42-yard line, so they couple passes here, and they can be trying another one of those field goals. I can't tell which way the wind's blowing sometimes by looking at those flags. They've kind of moved from side to side, and
not too bad today at all.
Not much wind at all.
Perfect day for this game. Not just incredibly hot, but good weather, good clear day.
We're up in the clouds anyway, though.
I tell you what, we got a great view of the city right here now, don't we?
That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, this is even better, I think, Will, than the Farrington Field view.
I agree. We are a long ways up.
Well, it's in Jeff Dover's hands here as we finish up the last couple minutes.
They go I formation here.
This could be a trick play.
Tomlinson going to throw it again.
It is a trick play.
And a pick.
Picked off by the White.
That's Greg Walls with the ball, and the White gets another chance. So one good throw, one bad throw for Ladanian.
Now, judging from the coverage that they presented there, they were looking for that play somewhere in there.
Well, the corner on that side did a good job. Greg Walls was staying home and taking care of his responsibility. And probably maybe Coach Dodd and Ladanian wish they had that one back right now. But the White team has had trouble moving the football here in the second half. So.
Well, I wondered if Tomlinson's ankle was acting up on him because he hadn't been out there much in the second half. Jones had gotten the majority of the work, so I wonder if maybe that tipped him off when he trotted out there.
He went back in that maybe this is going to be another pass, huh? I'm wondering if the Purple team went over their quota of trick plays for the day. We may see anything come out of the hat here in the last 1:59. There's been a lot of action in the last minute.
That's for sure. Okay, pulling the quarterback.
Sprint out. They got him pretty well covered. He threw it a little high.
Wanted to hit David Fatovic. And at this point, who do the coaches have in the game? The guys that have played the best, or did you guys have a preset rotation system?
No, well, they're handling their rotation, I'm sure, but I'm sure right now that both teams are trying to make sure they get pretty good ones in there because they know that the game's on the line.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for Kevin Coley.
Hey, check your back set on this and give me my alignment there.
So what have you seen that you've liked today, Coach?
Well, the offense did some good things today, and the defense has had another solid day. The first half was fairly flawless as far as turnovers and penalties and those kinds of things. In the second half, we've had a little bit more of that. So that's encouraging. I thought the offensive line showed a few spurts today, which was good. Maybe they're taking another step or two, which we need for them to do. Bad snap there. That's something that our centers have had to get used to is handling the shotgun snap as much as we would like to be able to do it. And we may be limited in how much of that we can do when we actually get to fall, because it is new for them to do as much of it as they're doing there.
Doug Shanks is the guy in the backfield there.
Well, now we've got a 3rd and very long, and still a lot of time left. We're getting a lot of possessions here in the last 2 minutes of the game. Purple's got a chance to get the ball back with decent field position again.
And still 1:48 on the clock. And it's not our fault. These have not been TV timeouts, folks. This is just the way the game is going.
Yeah.
But the outcome's still very much in doubt. 3rd and 17. After the sack by Shanks. Doug Shanks, the senior defensive end. And they are being a little more careful. The 25-second clock definitely not in effect here, and they're using it to their advantage.
Well, we called a timeout on that one.
Hey. But they actually went through the formality of calling one.
Yeah. Got a linebacker pressure here. Tailback didn't do a good job of picking it up, and sacked there by the purple team.
London Dunlap again.
And London is London's had a good spring. He's going to be a factor. He's really gotten better as spring has went on.
He brings a lot of speed up there, linebacker.
You're exactly right. Playing that defensive end position, and he's coming hard off the edge there, and the tackle's having a tough time getting to him, and he is bringing some speed. So now the white team's going to punt. Purple's called timeout to get situated here, and we've got 1:37, and Purple's going to get the ball in, maybe close to midfield here, depending on how this punt turns out.
Yeah, but those 2 sacks influence the field position game, especially when you don't have the chance of getting a big punt return, because all punts are fair caught.
And San Diego State, 7. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, in that
Royce Huffman will again do the punting. LeVar Veal and Michael Crawford will receive the kick for the purple team. What have you guys decided anything this spring about kick returns? I mean, that's always an area where you have to evaluate, figure out.
Well, both these young men, Mike Crawford and LeVar, have done a good job of handling punts this spring, and Royce has done it some. We haven't made any final decisions yet at either one of the return sides, so punt's a little more clear-cut because we want to make sure we have a guy that can catch it. Kickoff return, catching it's important, but we want to make sure we have a guy that can be a good returner, too.
And then the other big step that will happen this fall is integrating the newcomers. There are a couple of newcomers here, but the freshmen will come in, and these days those guys have to play pretty quick.
Well, we hope that we don't have to rely on our freshmen too much, but that's certainly a possibility, and we'll have the opportunity to work with them for 3 days before we bring in our varsity for fall camp. And so here we are with 1:31. The purple got Royce didn't hit a real good punt for him, and the purple's got the ball on the white side of the 50-yard line here, so this is a good break for the purple.
1:30, they could easily get down within field goal range. Jeff Dover gets to be quarterback here. His quarter on the purple side. And, 1:31, plenty of time to move that distance, but it's also the way things have been going, plenty of time for them to go down and White to get it back. Hard count.
Hard count, option play, and a quick pitch to Charlie Jones there.
Big time hit late there.
Yeah, Reggie Hunt came up and made a hit there. I'm sure we're going to get a penalty on the white team, I would think, here.
All signs against the white team.
They will probably take the 5. They do. It'll be 1st and 5.
The scoreboard says the white has 2 timeouts and the purple none here, so the purple will have to manage the clock here, but they're, if they can get a couple more 5-yard penalties, they'll definitely be in more field goal range.
That's right.
5-yard penalty for offsides will place the ball at the 36-yard line.
4 wide out set here. Dover nearly had it picked. That was Greg Walls again.
Yeah, he threw a ill-advised throw probably for Jeff there. Mike Crawford was open. Jeff got forced up into the pocket and threw the ball behind Jeff significantly there.
Now, how much will we see this 4 wide out look?
Well, I would hope that it will be a part of our package. It always has been. It gives us a chance to spread out and do our drop back and shotgun game, and another aspect of our game that defenses have to worry about defending. It'll be based a little bit on the development of the offense and how we come along here. 2nd and 5 for the purple team now.
1:05 on the clock. And a little option game, and Dover untouched.
And down to inside the 20. That was a good call by the purple. The guard pulling did a good job on Schobel there, who has been such a factor today, but one of the guards made a nice pull. We're not going to be able to quite see his pull in the block on Aaron right there, but it gets Jeff free, and now we're down inside the 20. Purple's in pretty good control of things right here if they'll manage the clock correctly. This is where you want to make sure you get the ball in position to kick the field goal, if nothing else.
A situation like this with the field position being what it is, are you going to look at how the defensive players react under this kind of pressure?
Oh, you bet. Every situation that develops here is helpful for your football team today in being able to evaluate them, and just another game situation that they're in. There's a zone play, and there's Charlie Jones, and defense does a great job. Not much there. Clock's running here, and I would guess the purple might run one more play somewhat like that, and then they better hurry and get lined up for a field goal.
White does still have those 2 timeouts.
But you would hope they wouldn't.
I don't think the White will call one right now, though.
4 wideouts again, 3 top sides. Dover just did get out from under center. That's complete and inbound.
Complete and inbounds, but the clock's running.
Michael Crawford made the catch. 12 seconds left.
They need to get this ball snapped and spike it real quick to stop the clock. And there it is. Okay, 4 seconds. It's going to come down to the field goal.
All right.
So Kalaki is coming in, and we'll try it again.
Yeah, he missed earlier from 42.
And this one isn't going to be that easy because of the hash.
No, that was the one drawback for the play that they ran. It put the ball over on the right hash, and I thought they might run a running play and try to put the ball in the middle of the field.
That's what I was looking for. And
I think the White's going to call timeout and try to ice a kicker here for a second. Good coaching. Good coaching. Should do that. Make him think about it. This is great. Here, Chris has had a good spring kick in the football, and this is a game situation that could be presented for him next fall. And we hopefully he's going to bang this through. I'm not pulling for white or purple, but I'm pulling for the Frogs here right now. And that would be a great indication of him handling some of these situations like this.
So Dover holds. And it's kind of good, I guess, here that it was the white team or the purple team that was driven all the way down by Dover. Otherwise, you wonder, he's the holder.
I used to call the spring game the pork and bean game. The winning team got barbecued pork and the losing team got beans. But when we started having to rotate people around a little bit, it wasn't fair to do it that way. And then somebody would get accused of throwing the game or something in the spring game. So it's going to come down to this kick, and the defense is going to be, they're going to be trying to block this baby, I can tell right now.
Getting loud down there. So Kalaki has 28 yards to kick, and they use their second timeout.
Yeah, good coaching. Ice him up. Ice him up. Make him think about it.
There's no timeout stuff for either team, so.
Yeah, this is not like NBA basketball. We won't have 20 seconds timeouts and all those other things.
Hey, football, some people want to put that in there. Hey,
I
give
know.
us a 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'd like to have them once in a while. The life of a kicker. Now, here he is. He's standing out there by himself, lining it up. This is maybe where you might need to tell him a joke and get him to relax a little bit before he has to try to hit this one.
Now, if you're that guy in the huddle with the kicker, is that what you do? You just figure out a way to...
I usually do. I just try to kind of relieve some pressure in a situation like this. Just talk to him and kind of get his mind focused, but yet get him relaxed a little bit. Well, the white team is definitely stirred up here.
I don't even want to think about what they're saying to him across the line there.
Snap's good, holds good. Kick looks like it went through.
Holy cow.
And Purple wins.
No time left on the
Purple
clock.
wins the spring game with no time on the clock. And they're celebrating. Look at them.
So Jeff Dover drives the purple team down into field goal position. And Chris Kalaki kicks it through from 28 yards, and that ends the spring game. And, well, Coach, you told us about some of the good things. This was fun. This was a good way to kind of kick off your first spring here in Fort Worth.
Well, I think the players had a good time, and just watching them down there and giving each other the berries and everything. And it was good to see them in a game situation. It's a good culmination of spring practice. The fans got to watch it a little bit, the parents and people. And I'm really pleased with the enthusiasm of our players and the momentum of things and how they've handled things.
All right. Will, your thoughts on the game?
I thought that as a coach coming in, this is sort of what you wanted to see was a competitive game. It wasn't a blowout, so you couldn't see exactly what sort of talent you were going to see on the field. So this was good from that perspective anyway.
Well, the teams were balanced and for the most part, and it was a competitive game, and that's good to see. Both teams played very competitively and played hard, and we were looking for things like that today.
Now, I know you'll go back and you'll look at this tape and you'll look at the film that you guys made. Has this helped you to make any decisions?
Well, I think it will have. I don't know if one practice carries more weight than the first 14, but it certainly gives you as close to a game atmosphere as you can have to look at kids and how they respond.
All right. Well, we want to say thanks for joining us here on CCT. For Will Williams, and we want to say thanks to Coach Francione for being here.
Thank you.
Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I have. I don't know if I've got another profession or not, but I've had a good time.
We hope we haven't made you work too hard.
No, you haven't.
Very good. Well, we want to say thanks to our crew also for coming out on a Saturday afternoon and climbing Mount Amon Carter. Bill Orcutt is our director. Andy Haskett runs the audio board. Replay Rick Sorosky. Joe Phillips on the graphics. Daniel Bayham, I thought Rick was on the replay. I guess I was wrong. Glenn Connor and Suzanne Wildman running cameras. Steve Dickinson here up with us in the booth. Thanks very much for joining us. For Coach Francione and Will Williams, I'm Rush Olson. Good afternoon from Fort Worth.
Daytime phone number and the name and date of the program with a brief description of the subject matter. Please allow 2 to 3 weeks for delivery. This is